What's going on, people? Welcome to Fandoms Anonymous. We are here. This is the place for the official Fandoms Anonymous Power Ranger movie countdown. Man, we are so excited to have a Power Rangers movie coming out. We're going to be providing you all types of content, from podcasts to special interviews with special guests to different conversations to debates about Power Rangers. We're talking Power Rangers every single day. There's going to be a new video dropping every day leading up to the release of the Power Rangers movie. Again, this is Fandoms Anonymous presents the Power Rangers movie countdown. Follow us all over social media and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Go Power Rangers. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fandoms Anonymous. We are still full-fledged into our Fandoms Anonymous presents the Power Ranger movie countdown. Each and every day, I am dropping something new, a new conversation, an interview, a discussion, debate. I'm dropping something new every day about Power Rangers until the movie drops. If you guys already haven't seen it, I did my interview with Jason David Frank probably about 2 weeks ago, so it is on our YouTube channel right now. I got some very special guests on the line with me, some of the guys that talk every day inside of the Fandoms Anonymous group and page. I got my man Reginald Reed. What's going on, Reginald?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Awesome. I got my man Robert Norwood. Robert Norwood, what's up, man?
What's good, bro?
I haven't had Robert Norwood on since a podcast I did a long time ago when I used to belong to a different group, where we talked about why Power Rangers is relevant. So I haven't had Robert on in a minute. Glad to have you back on this side of things. And he knows what I mean by this side of things. But I got my man Derrick Green. What's going on, Derrick?
What's good, everybody?
Most definitely. So we just some guys from Alabama. Derrick, I forget where you're from, Derrick. Where you from?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Derrick is in Baltimore, Maryland. So we got Mobile, Alabama, and we got Baltimore, Maryland on the line. Even though I'm living in Montgomery right now, I'm born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, the birthplace of Mardi Gras, for all you people who didn't know that. But I digress. And we're going to keep on moving. Today, we are talking about our personal most powerful team. Each member of this panel is going to represent their specific team through the 25-year span of Rangers. 25 years. And another thing, guys, right now on Twitch, and I think I'm going to log in sometime later on the day, they are doing a Power Rangers marathon from now leading up into the movie with every last episode. There are a total of 831 episodes of Power Rangers. 831.
Yeah, I can't believe we watched that many.
Wow. We've watched that many. Most of us are over the age of 25, except for Robert. I think Robert is under 25. Am I right, Robert?
24.
He's almost there, but he's inebriated and drunk in Power Rangers just as well as anybody 25 or older. So that's still a good thing. But we're going to kick it off, and I'm going to hand it over to my boy Reginald Reed, and he's going to explain why he feels like Zeo is one of the most powerful teams. And I think if most of us, even though we picked our own team, most of us can agree that Zeo was the ish. So, Reginald, take it away and let us know a little bit about Zeo and your opinion of why it's the most powerful team.
Okay, well, as we all know, that Zeo originated from the Zeo crystals in the third season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they had the ninja powers. So in that time frame, they pretty much had to look for the crystals because based on Master Val, when he rotated the Earth back to making the Rangers as kids, he made it to where they couldn't really get the crystals. But as the episodes went, all the kids went to go get the crystals. So, and as Zordon said, that the Zeo crystal is powerful. Now, in my opinion, the reason why the Zeo crystal is powerful, in my opinion, is because it gets powerful over time. I recently just been reading the Power Rangers comic book that came by Boom Studio, and there's pretty much the Zeo crystal is kind of more of a main plot point in the story because it also adds more detail on how Rita was trying to get the Zeo crystal way before the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was ever established on Earth. So, and I think it's something also in the movie that's coming out more recently. But as I digress, the reason I feel like the Zero powers are powerful, in my opinion, is because I guess I want to say arsenal-wise. I can't really say power-wise. Well, if you want to go individual powers, let's be honest. Between all 5 Rangers, each one of them have their own weaponry, but they also have more essential moves. Pretty much the Pink Ranger, she can fire a fireball even without her weapon. So. And then they have at least, 2 cannons, one combined with their weapons, another one just a straight cannon just made with, I think, zero charges or something like that. I forgot. I think that's a morpher, or something like that. I forgot a little bit. But based on the arsenal itself, the Zords, might I add, the Zords itself, especially the original Zero Zords, they're more powerful in their own right. And then came the Super Zero Zords, which, my ass, came from the Gold Ranger. And the Gold Ranger, he's from Tread Triforia from space. He brought the Zero Gems that originated the Super Zero Zords. But him by himself is even more powerful. But we're going to get to him later. But the Super Zero Zords, like I said, even, I can't even say just the Super Zero Zords. The regular Zero Zords, they got the ability to go in space. Not only do they just land, they on land, but they can also go in space as well. And I feel like that's powerful, especially at that time anyway. And then, okay, now I'm going to go to the Gold Ranger. Okay, the Gold Ranger by himself, he's powerful because, like I said, he comes from outer space, and then he also joined the Rangers, and then he gave the Rangers even more, artillery. And then, it just was just like, at that time I was like, whoa, how many Zords do they have, And then I also forgot about the Red Battle Zord that the Red Ranger had to pilot, because that was a powerful Zord by itself. And then, like I said, think of the combinations with the Zords. But back to the Gold Ranger himself, he has a freaking pyramid. Come on now, a pyramid as a Zord. Not only is it just a pyramid, it's also a carrier Zord that can configure into the Ultra Zord combined with almost all the Zords that's there. So I'm just saying, like, okay, well, that is powerful. How much more powerful can you get? We ain't gonna talk about the little Wheel Zord that they have. I forgot the name of it already, but yeah, like I said, and then like I said, based on that whole season though, it was just they couldn't honestly lose. I mean, granted, they had their times where they lost or whatever, but you gotta really think about it. I look at it at much more logical point, like. Based on the last 3 seasons before Zero, like I said, the Zords got destroyed. I can't even sit here and say, I don't think the Ninja Zords got destroyed, but the Thunder Zords and the Dinosaurs got destroyed because, hell, the Dinosaurs and the Thunder Zords were pretty much the same. So, but you can't sit here and say that the Zero Zords and all the Zords, even the powers itself got destroyed. You saw how, well, that was Super Mega Force, but all the Power Rangers came back. But based on when it was leading up to the Turbo series, like I said, the powers have disappeared and nothing like that. It's pretty much still, I think it could be still active for all we know. But as Orion said, the powers get powerful over time. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, well, if the powers were to come back like right now, I wonder how powerful they'll be as of right now. Seeing how you got some new Rangers or whatever, or they'll just come out, they'll come and help the recent Rangers, the new Rangers, and see how powerful they are. Is it still powerful, or go from there. But that's pretty much my opinion on it. So,
and that was an awesome opinion. Do you guys have anything to say about Zeo, Robert or Derrick?
I think Zeo, to me, like when I first saw the show and when I saw like how powerful they were, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is like crazy. And the fact that their suits look like an Egyptian power that it comes from, it was just it was like breathtaking. It was really breathtaking.
Yeah.
And I think the coolest part about it is when they all got turned into giants. And I'm thinking, like, yo, that is crazy. And then you thought about, like, wait, did they really need the Zords if they could turn into giants? I mean, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that part was what had me. I'm like, then okay, you have such powerful arsenal, and now you have the ability to turn into giants. Come on now. What was the point of having the Zords?
I'm like, that is just legit. about Zeo that you understand there's a little bit of history in that. Because if you notice in MMPR, the Yellow Ranger's counterpart was indeed a guy. And this, in the first series, is where a Yellow Ranger is also female-wise, who is the first Yellow Ranger to have a shirt on her uniform.
For me, Zeo was one of my most favorite seasons. I really enjoyed Zeo. I like everything the original said. I have the same sentiments when it comes to Zeo. You know, as they just kept progressing. Every time you look, they had a new Zord. Every time you look, they had something new. Of course, we know all of this came from the Sentai footage, but it was just awesome to watch Zeo. I mean, we look at the color schemes. We think about the theme song. Yeah. All of that all together just made Zeo one of the best seasons for me. So, and we're going to go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm also that. But I think what really saved. I want to see him and say maybe the Zeo kind of saved the franchise just a little bit at a time, because like I think what had the audience more like, oh my God, like this is awesome, was that it was new suits, it was new Rangers, it was like, right. Okay, it's not you know, the White Ranger and all that stuff. This is, everything is just new, you know. And then on top of that, they came out with a Gold Ranger. You were saying like, whoa, who is this, you know? And like that, he was the type of Ranger. He wasn't the type of Ranger to start off evil and nothing like that. No, he just came out. He was just mysterious. He just came out of nowhere, helped the Rangers, left, and then, you know, plot-wise, then you find out who he really was, and you just like, oh, man. And then, like I said, he kept adding on to, you know, to how much more powerful it could be. And then you was like, then on top of that, Jason comes back, and he gets the Gold Ranger powers. And you like, okay, you know what? So
it's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
Also, there was a little known fact in Zeo. Do you remember that when the Aquatar Rangers made an appearance during one of the shows in Zeo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice how Did you notice how when they all teleported, they all had their own individual colors, but there was another Aquatarian who transported Billy somewhere, and it was pink. So that speculated what if there was a pink Avatar Ranger, but it never got shown.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna make sure we stay on task here with this conversation. So I'm the one that's next, and I'm going to the early 2000s to a wonderful season called Power Rangers Ninja Storm.
Yeah.
For me, Power Rangers Ninja Storm was one of the most grounded seasons. I enjoyed every last bit of Ninja Storm, from the suits to the lore behind it, to the background story. And let's not even talk about the Thunder Rangers. And then we go back in time and we get the Green Samurai power.
Yeah.
Then we have the Zords that they had. The fact that they harnessed the powers of earth, water, air, and lightning,
thunder.
And then the thunder, and it was just amazing. So of course we had another Evil Ranger arc with the Thunder Rangers, and when they came on the scene, they were no joke. The Thunder Rangers they didn't take any prisoners. Of course we know they were under evil spell, but they were awesome from beginning to end. Then they had their own Zords. But I think for me, it was just, especially for one thing that highlighted Ninja Storm for me, and I've watched Ninja Storm, the complete season over the years, several times. One of the most highlighted points during that season was when everybody was officially a Ranger. And if you remember, you just had Ninja Storm, when they morphed.
Yeah.
So when you added the Thunder Rangers, you had Ninja Storm, Thunder Form, Samurai Storm. You know what I'm saying? And that whole morphing sequence, when you had all of them together, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them together, and when they all morphed and they all had their phrase, that just took it from me. I loved when they all came together. When we look at the Zords, that they had, they had, especially when Cam, when he got his Zord. And the only thing I didn't like was about the fact that he controlled his Zord with guitar. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But for me, Ninja Storm was grounded. They had a good villain, Lothar. And the fact that Lothar was Cam's uncle. You know what I'm saying? And it was a whole family aspect. And it was just a good season. It was overall a good quality, wholesome Power Ranger season. So what do you guys got to say about Ninja Storm?
Words can describe how Ninja Storm was so, like, it was, to me, I think that was one of the first seasons where it felt like it was realistic, how when one of them bought Power Rangers and Tori was like, Power Rangers, yeah, right, like she don't believe Power Rangers exist, it's just an urban legend, it's just a myth, until she's presented with a morpher, and then she's hit with this reality like, wow, Power Rangers do exist. Like, what?
Yeah. And then, and like I said, I mean, I just have to agree. It was much more grounded. And like I said, one part of the season when, like, you know, Dustin, he was asking, like, okay, who do we know that's an enemy? And you know, the Red Ranger, he was just like hit anybody that's not a primary color. I died laughing when I seen that.
Yeah, man, that was when they first morphed and got those powers.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. He was just like, just hit anybody that's not a primary color. I was like, you know what? this is awesome what he just said.
But you know what episode that really, like, when I first saw this episode where Dustin and one of Lord Thor's daughters, I think, they were hooking up, but he didn't know she was evil. And so she wanted to prove that she was, like, you know, she's capable of causing destruction. And the fact that you see that she actually developed feelings for him and she actually had regret that she betrayed him, and how the way Justin reacted, I'm like, well, so that's when you realize that there may be some good in her after all, you know, but he just had to prove something to let everyone know that she's serious. But at the same time, she didn't expect to fall for him. And since she revealed herself, and that looked like she feels bad that she betrayed him, but at the same time, she's not a good guy, she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end, they end up joining the Ninja Academy.
Yeah, power-wise, now, yeah, that was pretty powerful in their own right. Because, like I said, when it comes to the Zords and when it comes to Arsenal, especially when the Red Ranger has Battleizer, that was pretty powerful. Like, because one thing I had to say about when it comes to Zeo, the Red Ranger didn't have a Battleizer at all, you know. But I guess after In Space, that's when they started to do the whole Battleizer motif for each season or whatever. So, yeah, and then, like I said, I mean, they was powerful in their own right. Like I said, and especially when they pretty much combined themselves with the Thunder Zords, and I think they combined the main Zords combined with the Samurai Zord. Yeah, that was pretty powerful. I think it ended up becoming an Ultra Zord. There was an Ultra Zord in there somewhere. But yeah, it was pretty powerful.
Yeah, so let's get started with Mystic Force. That was the first season that involved magic.
Yeah.
Like, involved, like, stuff that I think people said, since all this, like, technology they're doing, like, all this mystical stuff, Mystic Force was one of the first seasons that actually evolved from, like, the alien technology to ninja technology to being practical magic. And it's like, that's crazy, because it's like, if you have the power of magic, you can do pretty much whatever you want. It's like you can make yourself rich, you know, you could, you know, make yourself into anything you want and still be a Power Ranger at the same time.
That's true. And it took me aback because I would never think that would be the source for Power Rangers. Magic, I was just like, hold up. Because, like I said, when it comes to Zeo, I think Zeo is based on ancient powers, like, you know, time at the time of, you know, just sitting there, building up. I think that's what that was about. But when it comes to magic, and I was just like, magic, I was like, whoa. You know, and this is before I figured out about the Sentai footage. So I was like, whoa, Mr. Force? Okay, and what's the theme? Okay.
And it was also one of the first seasons where you think about it, that Vita, the Pink Ranger, said she didn't like her color. And you never heard that in any Power Ranger series. So she was the first one as a Pink Ranger. You know, she was like the street tough person. And she says, like, you know, I hate pink. And it's like, well, wow. Like, I think that's also be realistic. It's like, I don't like this color, but at the same time, I like the power, but I don't like the color. So I'm going to, you know, get used to it.
Yeah. Then, ironically, she changed her hair to pink at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. Like,
I would say that I did like the theme for Mystic Force. It was a powerful season. Now, Some of the Zords were kind of weird. I will say that Lion Zord that they had was real nice. Then the fact that they had Zords kind of like the Zeo was. You know, the Zeo had like those Titans, you know, and then Mystic Force had that as well, where they were able to come together, and then those formed the Megazord.
Yeah, that was the first time they actually get turned into Megazord, because you've never seen that before.
Exactly.
And that was also made it unique, because when they, like, shouted out their Zords, they didn't go into Zords. They actually turned into the Zords, and then once they got turned into a Megazord, that's when they reformed back to their human forms.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the main Zords, they could turn into it could be go from a Megazord or a dragon, and that would have me like wow. That had me like wow. And then it was and then honestly, and like I said, I'm a huge fan of irony. I had to say that. But what was the whole ironic twist to Mr. Force was when you find out that Rita is the reason why they had the powers. Like when she turned good at the end of in space, you was like, and then you find out that she's the reason why the Mr. Forces has their powers. You was like, wow, like because you remember Rita as just this evil witch, you know what I'm saying? Not from from all four, you know what I'm saying, all 4 or 5 seasons. This ain't no, she's the one, you know, that's irony within itself, you know what I'm saying? Because she was the main one that hated Rangers. Now she's sitting here aiding, making Rangers of her own. So,
and, you know, basically she had became the what we call today the Mystic Mother. That was her title.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, you're thinking, like, how they all connected, like, how they all, like, you know, are connected, and they don't even know it.
That's And then, like I say, I mean, because magic is pretty powerful. Magic is powerful. Let's be honest here. So I wouldn't know. I really want to know what would happen if, like, Zeo or, you know, Ninja Storm and all that will go head on, because like I said, magic is powerful. You can almost do anything with magic. Yeah, magic has a cost with it, but come on, in this season, you didn't see they ain't have no cost at all. It was just simply, you know, morph. I can still use the wand. I can still use the morph as a wand. All that.
And it dealt with the mystical creatures that we thought, like, you know, that you only hear in fairy tales. So they had like fairies, werewolves, vampires, and it's like, wow.
Most definitely. What we're going to do is we're going to jump over to our last season to cover this evening. That's going to be Derrick, and he's going to bring us the most recent ending season of Rangers. Right now we're in Power Rangers Ninja Steel, but we just ended off with Power Rangers Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge. So, Derrick, bring to our attention why you think Dino Charge is powerful.
Because this is the first season where when you obtain a power, you have also the ability to have immortality. And that is by far one of the top most powerful thing you can ever have, because once you bond to an energem, it's like you stop aging. It's like you can live like forever and ever and ever and ever and still have the power of a Power Ranger. And not only that, it's like nobody wouldn't even know. You know, they didn't even know that when they had the energems until later, that once you have the energems, you'll stop aging. And as soon as that happens, like the more you live, the more you can develop your powers and the more stronger you'll get as the years to come.
And that is pretty powerful. I mean, you got to imagine, you've been immortal this whole entire time, and you still have that power. And like I say, you can then over time, like I said, you can use that power any which way you want. So if you were to come across a new team of Rangers, you can simply say, "Hey, look, I'm still active. You know, let me help you guys out." Or you call yourself trying to, you know, bully me. I'm like, "Hey."
And that's the thing. It's like it also makes you super strong. It makes you like have super speed, everything. And what I like about Dino Charge, which was unique and different, that it also had like a first African American Pink Ranger in the series, and that has never ever been done before. And so when people find that out, that's like, okay, now that's history in the making. And also for Camille, she could put herself in the world of history as one of the first few African Americans to make history in a Power Ranger universe. And so that's something she's going to have to look back on. And the fact that also on the series, is that because these powers are very, very powerful, they're not even connected to the morphing grid because they were created in a different planet like millions of years ago. And because of that, Kendall also created, energy from the energems to make dino charges to control their power.
Well, tell us something about the Zords in the season.
The Zords are, like, amazing because they're bonded to, like, prehistoric animals. So basically, like, the Zords that were bonded into the fossils, energy revolved into creating Zords.
No, he's right. I mean, because based on the Zords is pretty powerful, and like I said, they do have their different configurations, which is pretty cool. And like I said, I think the ultimate Zord that was the last one was the Brachio, something like that. It was pretty much the Super Ranger Zord,
The Titanosaur.
Yeah, and like he can that's pretty much Titanus from Mighty Morphin. So like I said, the Arsenal is pretty popular, especially with the Red Ranger. He had the mini Tyrannosaurus, so where he had pretty much had a battleizer. And like I said, that was pretty popular. My thing about Dino Charge was when they got into the cockpit. And they turned into they got the extra armor on them when they got into the cockpit of the Zords, and I think that's pretty much powerful because I feel like, that's powerful, but that's in the cockpit. So I'm trying to figure out what would happen if they were out of the cockpit and still had the armor on. What kind of power would they be wielding then?
I think they would still be able to use the Zords because since they're all bonded, but at the same time, I don't think that will work because I think that because all their energy got put into the Zords, it probably wouldn't work when they're out of the Zords. Because with their energy inside the Zords and all of it combined together, it will make it a lot more tolerable to take, hits and defensive. Because I think that's like the same thing on like Alien Rangers, because they were out of their Zords and they were like fighting and all that, and how did that work? So I don't think like that would probably work for a Dino Charge, but if it did, that would have been a pretty also unique thing that they would do. And plus, another thing, Dino Charge actually used a lot of their own footage and less Sentai footage, and that's what I really did notice about the TV show.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Man, please tell me I didn't miss my session, man.
You missed it, man, but we're going to give you the opportunity to come back and bring your own piece.
Okay,
Robert's back.
First of all, I apologize for the long pause. I have no clue what happened to the phone. I have been sitting here for like the last 15 minutes, and I have no clue what happened. So I'm covering Mystic Force, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we were doing Dino Charge, but we can go back to Mystic Force. Let's go back to Mystic Force.
Okay, all right. So going back to Mystic Force, man, the reason why I believe Mystic Force is the most powerful team is I can kind of base this really on one person, just looking back over the seasons before and maybe a couple of after. In Mystic Force, we all know that there are 5 and that their powers were based on magic, right? We can all agree on that. All right, so with pure-hearted magic, we all know pure-hearted magic is like the most richest essence on Earth in any fantasy, sci-fi, Power Rangers in our case, universe. And like I said, the one person that I really want to base this all on is the main villain that the show kind of centers around until like the 29th or 30th episode. As a villain, we all know him as Korak, but later on in the season, he starts to turn and turn and turn until he becomes a good guy, which then we know him as Liambo.
Now, you Donna's baby dad?
Huh?
Or you Donna's baby dad?
Yeah, Udana's baby daddy. That works. That works. So Limbo.
Hold on. Y'all trying to claim Udana? You okay? Nah, don't claim Udana. Udana's bae.
Udana's bae.
Wait a minute.
Y'all crazy, man. But, okay, so in the series, Limbo was the most powerful wizard in their world. And if I remember correctly, the story, it was the 5, including Limbo, and they had the great battle, which was like 20 years before the Mystic Fort Rangers came. Now, during this great battle, Limbo, by himself, pretty much pushed all of the villains back into the underworld, and with the help of the gatekeeper, which just so happens to be Claire's mother, if I'm not mistaken, sealed them, including the master, Optimus.
I think his name was the Master. It was a weird name.
Yeah. But he resembled an octopus. For anybody who doesn't know or at least forgot, he resembles an octopus. But anyway, so Limbo by himself, man, sealed everybody in the underworld behind the gate. Now, when the gate cracked in the first episode of the season, he was the first to come out. And throughout the entire season, man, this man literally single-handedly pretty much beat the Rangers every time he wanted to fight.
That's true.
Yeah,
now, if I'm not mistaken,
let me stop you right there real quick, Robert. You just made a point. You just made a valid point. When you said when he wanted to fight, not when they ran into him, not when they went to go fight him, but Conrad used to just show up on the scene. Like when you get ready to fight somebody, I'm about to knock you out on spot. Conrad would show up through a portal. He would come out through a portal and say, Red Ranger, I challenge you. And they would be like, wait a minute, I ain't ready, bro. I just woke up. He would just pop up on the scene like, I came to fight. That's what I came to do. If y'all buy it, let's get it.
He's just like, bruh, are you serious, bruh? Okay, you know what?
So, man, based on that by itself, that's why I believe Mystic Force was the most powerful team, because it took them literally until like the last couple of episodes. Well, not even the team as a whole. It was really Nick, the Red Ranger, who somewhat beat him. He ended up breaking his sword, and somehow after that he got kind of weak, went back to the underground, and Udana's staff that Korak had stolen in the beginning of the season kind of helped him break through and finally turn over into who we know as Limbo. And even then, man, Limbo still handled people by himself. So it's ridiculous, man, how strong he is. And then you turn around and you add 6 other Rangers if you add Solaris Knight. Well, 7 other if you add Udana in too. But anyway, the point is,
but let's talk about Solaris. Let's talk about Solaris Knight real quick, because he was like some pretty boy that your uncle know that used to hang out at the cookout with the Jerry curl. Solaris Knight was a brother. He was a real deal brother.
And that what had got me like we was debuted. I was like, hold up. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so this someone's uncle is pretty much the 6th Ranger. Okay, I can dig it.
Yeah. So we all have discussed our seasons for what we thought was the most powerful, and we want you guys to vote. So when you watch this video, you can vote in the comment section on Facebook when we post the video on Facebook. You can vote in the comment section here on YouTube as well for your favorite season.
But, guys, we do thank you for joining us today. We did get off kilter and got off subject. We're definitely going to have to come back and bring to you some more conversations. But if you guys don't know who we are Fandoms Anonymous. That's FANDOMS ANONYMOUS. We're on Facebook. Come like our page. We're on Facebook. Come join the group where we have discussions just like we're verbally talking. We have discussions and comments on our Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram at Fandoms_Anonymous17. Follow us on Twitter at Anonymous_Fan17. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel, Fandoms Anonymous. Reginald, where can everybody find you at?
Reginald D. Reed on Facebook.com. Pretty much Reggie1485 on Snapchat, and Hazel Eye Demon on Instagram.
Most definitely. And Derrick, where can everybody find you, my man?
Everybody can follow me on Instagram at SlickD3000, Facebook, Derrick Anthony Green, and also Instagram, Power Rangers Fanfilm. Evil Scale,
definitely.
I also forgot about Twitter. Pretty much Black Joker 14 on Twitter. Follow me.
Most definitely. And my man Robert popped out on us again, but that's okay. You can find Robert inside of the Fandoms Anonymous group 24/7, 365. But guys, thank you for listening today, and you guys have a great one.